My name is Humanoid, and I'm a passionate Rwandan entrepreneur. 7 years ago, I decided not to go to college and instead dive deep into entrepreneurship and solve one of the biggest problems that the African continent is facing. 7 years later, we're building one of the largest job simulation platforms on the African continent. And the best part, I'm not alone on this journey. Every day, I get to meet extremely talented people who are building solutions for some of the most challenging problems that the African continent is facing. So I decided to launch this podcast as a way to bring these conversations to life and share them with you all. On this podcast, you'll meet amazing people and discover what they're building. We'll hear their stories, learn from their experiences, and get inspired. So if you're like me and you're excited about discovering the cool technologies being built in Africa, then you've come to the right place. Welcome to What I'm Building with me as your host.
Unemployment is one thing, especially for those who are not in school. This is something really I do tell young people. Some people look at them as if you are grooming yourself to become.
What is it that you were, but also are trying to solve?
Medical workers around the world are facing an uphill battle dealing with this pandemic. Rwanda has now come up with an innovative solution.
The education is still a bit difficult because, there's some solutions that don't cost a lot. I realized that
in today's rapidly evolving world, technology stands as a beacon of hope, especially in Africa.
We should therefore move quickly to embrace artificial intelligence and make it work for us.
From technology and entrepreneurship to healthcare and education, the possibilities are endless. It's about inspiring a new generation of learners to reach their full potential, turning the dreams of today into the realities of tomorrow for Africa. All right. Thanks a lot for making it, Ben. Before we get into what you're building, I want to understand who is Ben. What are some of the events in your life that have shaped you into the entrepreneur, into the man you are today?
there are a couple of things I would say. Growing up as a child, I know I always had a solution to any problem. That's one of the things. I'll come to even the university level as well. At university, I was not at any point elected a student leader, but I was a leader by initiatives. So I could always find out myself trying to initiate environment clubs, protection, planting tree, integrity clubs. So this is something really I do tell young people, especially the students, people who are still in school, or even those who are not in school but in different communities. Unemployment is one thing, especially for those who are not in school, but also finding something to do, an initiative to be part of or initiate. That will gives you what to do. So if you start a community of planting trees, then that is a community of planting trees, and then your job is one day to wake up, go find trees to plant and watering them and making sure that they grow. Whether you're doing it for a community, you're doing it for your house, but it's always better to do it at the community level because that's where you attract support and you attract people to come and really join hands with you. The advantage of that is it helps you to build a professional network in a way that you don't know. So at university, I used to come up with different initiatives. With those initiatives, some people look at them as if you are grooming yourself to become maybe a public or a leader in some point. But to me, I think it was mainly the point was always trying to find a solution to a problem. And there's some solutions that don't cost a lot. So when I was deciding to do my master's, that's what I wanted to come to. I didn't want to do a business course, and I couldn't do a pure science master's. I decided to go to do a petroleum degree. There was a time that there was Meet the President event, and one student who had returned from Korea asked the president, I need to go back to that video and really watch what was the question about. And this student says, I'm from Korea. I've seen they do this. Your Excellency, why are you not doing it? Why are we not doing it in Rwanda? And the president told him that that's why we send you to go to study. Because you have seen it, why don't you come and do it? Yeah. So I was watching this it live in my apartment somewhere in Scotland, and I was like, okay, so we are here to study as Rwandans so that we can find solutions to the problems back home. And then I started looking at my time in Scotland, not just to achieve a degree, but what is that single thing this country is doing better than my country that I can attract back home. And that's when I landed how some of the schools, not all schools actually, some of the schools were using robots to teach kids to teach kids STEM subjects. And I landed a robot and inquired more. I did a lot of visits to different cities in Scotland and learned about different robots, the advantages and the disadvantages and all that. Then I came across a humanoid robot, which was a new invention and also a very fascinating character for students, either in primary or secondary school. And also with that, when you go outside of the country for schooling or for work, for a period which is more than 1 year, usually you are allowed to, at a tax-free basis, to bring back whatever belongs to you. I remember one of the reasons I didn't purchase a car was that I had to buy these robots. So I purchased 10 units of these new robots. One was going for £350. So I purchased 10 robots and brought them here, processed them on a tax-free basis, like something that I'm bringing home. And before I even got the job or started moving around looking for jobs, I was actually moving around to different schools, visiting schools, showing them these robotics characters, and formed a group of tech guys here, worked with them, took them through a training with my partners in Edinburgh. And then we started working on that, and we started going to school after school. We organized a competition, and kids were very excited. And we invited, because Minister Paula already knew about what we're doing. So she came to one of the competitions and the classes, and she could see how kids are excited. She kept supporting us into that. And later on, she invited us to the Transform Africa Summit and said yes. And they said, can I bring the kids? Because if I come to talk about what we are doing, then it's me talking about what you're doing. But it's better I bring the kids who have been teaching. Exactly. Come and run the show. She was like, if we speak to schools, if they can let these kids come for like an hour or two, then we'll facilitate you to bring the kids, and we'll make sure that the kids come and on the right time, and then they can go back. I said yes. So we go to schools, we say we need the kids to come to Transform Africa. It's going to take 3 hours of their time. And if you allow them, it will be good. Every school wanted their kids to present in such an international organization conference. So we bring the kids at this time. The Rwanda Pavilion, where there are a lot of technologies. So, like when the president is entering, I think the protocol they time almost everything. So when he's going to stop here, when he's going, and by then it was our president, and by then president of Mali and president of Kenya. So they're walking. I could tell on every company that was, every booth there, they could come and stop maybe for like a minute or two. So, but when they came to our booth, it's like they even couldn't think about the next event. And that's when they're going to do like the official launch. When they came to our booth, they stopped there because they were kids, and the whole conference and the booth area, the exhibition area is full of grown-up people and all. Yeah. When the president, when he saw the kids, I think he was very surprised. Honestly speaking, I think he didn't expect to see kids of 8, 7, 6 years there talking about technology. So he was very excited. He stopped there. Both him and the other president, they stopped there and they started chatting with the kids, asking them questions, and the kids did a wonderful job presentation, talking about what they have been learning, what they liked, and with for us, it was also an opportunity for us to be close to the president, so close to him, and that opportunity we had of the president visiting our booth, it couldn't have happened if I had not listened carefully on what he said, especially on finding solutions, but also if I had not thought of a solution to a problem. Yeah.
Imagine classrooms where learning is not just a task, but an adventure. This is where technology, particularly friendly and interactive robots, can play a pivotal role. They have the potential to transform outdated teaching methods, making learning more engaging, accessible, and fun. What problem were these robots coming to solve? So how were kids learning about STEM subjects before that? And, what is it that you were, but also are trying to solve by using robots in education?
Well, okay, the problem was obviously even linked to myself, how my primary school was. Mathematics and physics and chemistry was perceived to being the hard things. So I was like, these things are not hard, but it's how they are delivered. Yeah, how the teachers deliver them, and it's what makes them hard. So I realized that the best robot to bring to Rwanda was a humanoid robot. I was like, the power today in these stages of industrial revolution is within systems. It's basically softwares. And so I started looking at a solution that will not only come to teach and enhance how STEM subjects are delivered in the classroom, but also teach futuristic skills, which are system development, AI, and so forth. Because I was like, even if we said we are going to teach and focus on production, which we should do, I'm not saying we can't do that. We need to balance things.
Yes.
But I was like, at least the main thing for me, the area I would focus on is going to be on software development, building applications, and that's how I ended up into focusing on humanoid product and all that. Yeah.
So where's Zorobots today? What do you guys do?
We are still long into the extracurricular activities when it comes to education, because the education is a bit challenging sector because its design and its flexibility to adapt is still a bit difficult, because when you want to change and bring these new innovations, it's a bit difficult because you need to start with training the teachers, then also putting facilities in place to support what innovation you need to bring in. For us, what we have decided with the education part, to accept an organic growth with it, so that we don't push things before we know we are probably disrupting a system that is already there, but we're trying to get into underground growth. But we push a little bit harder. We are pushing that side. But now we are also, as Zorabots, we are also trying to focus on what I would call the big challenges, high-risk challenges. Identify real-world problems either in Rwanda perspective, Africa, or global perspective. There are several ideas that we are working on. We want to come up with a robot that you have been hearing a lot of landslides, also mines falling, and also in some communities there are some. I've read a couple of pieces and articles around people in mining that develop chronic diseases because of the toxic gases they face when they are going into the mining. So we are in conversation with one European university, and we're also discussing with the CNU to set up, to find a way on how we can dig deep into the problem of mining, do some research around it, and then develop a robot that could solve that problem. And we develop it here. And that's the stage we want to do. Definitely there'll be a lot of collaborations because there are some things that in Rwanda we can't get in terms of if it's especially when you go into the large scale production of some of these components. So I have a belief that once we create one robot in Rwanda, it's going to be a big story that we'll be able to sell not only in Africa but also across.
With every innovation comes resistance. What are some of the challenges? If you could sum them up in three main challenges that you faced with building this company, what were they?
There's a challenge on capital, and people sometimes they try to shy away from it as if it's not a problem. What I would say about this challenge on financing and capital is the mindset around how our financial institutions are structured. So there is how the finance institutions are structured here are not structured in any way to really support startups. And I'm saying this on capacity because there is a lot of potential investors that come at early stage investors. Personally, I'm not someone who wants to go for an investor when none of my product is well curated and ready for the market. I've always had a bit of resistance. I've been a bit reluctant to chase investors because you spend a lot of time chasing these investors and instead of building a product. So it's difficult to build a product alone. There's need of this support ecosystem, and at the same time, even when you are able to train people, before you know, after you have invested a few of your time, your network, I'm lucky that I work with different international companies that at least on training part, if it's to train my team, they always avail time to train them. But then even after you train them, then they have the capacity, but you don't have the retention.
Absolutely.
So
it's a really big one. It's a big one, man. But it's, I agree with you. It's a reality. It's a really big challenge that we're facing as founders. It's, how do you keep the team as you are trying to grow? Because, startups really take a long time to actually grow. So you definitely need those people who are going to stick around for a while.
Yes.
Africa's diaspora is a pool of immense talent and potential, a community thriving across the globe. Yet imagine the transformative impact if this talent chose to return home.
Ben, there is a Rwandan or a young African, and they're sitting somewhere listening to this conversation or watching this interview between me and you, and they're also asking themselves, hey, I want to come back. I want to bring back the skills that I'm learning here. And I want to come back on the continent and I want to make a big impact. As someone who's done that before, what would you advise them to do? What are the steps and what are the realities?
There's this wave. It's reducing. The recent years, it's reducing a wave where you find young people of our generation that go to Europe or the US and all they want is to stay there, even after school.
Yeah.
Irrespective whether they have what to do there, sometimes you find they struggle a lot just to stay there. Yeah. So, and this was a question for me, even with my professors, because I had a job with the university and there was all options available for me to stay in Europe and also to even in the US as well. To me, what I was looking at mainly was what the level of the impact can I bring here? And it wasn't more about how much money am I going to be paid. Because even when maybe I skipped that, when I came, I got a job to work with the Rwanda Mining and Petroleum Board, which I also had to leave in less than a year to continue pursuing the business. Because the robotics business, because for me, I was more of my goal and my ambitions and my passion is like what I said on finding solutions and stuff like that. The problems was the impact you can create than how much you're going to be paid. So some people are like, it's okay as long as they're paid much and they don't look at the impact. So what I'll say is to find the solution there, bring it here. And the advantage of doing that, if you find a solution on that side and that doesn't exist here, because they are developed countries and we're still learning from what they're doing to develop the economy so that we can develop ours as well. Find a solution there, bring it back home. And I would say this with some level of conviction, is that today, if I wanted to be employed or to work or even to partner with any company, small, medium, big, in Europe, in China, in the US, it would be something that will not take so long. I'll get it and I'll go back at even much more senior level, because even the European countries, they know, they'll be like, yeah, this guy been doing it back in his country. So he would help us maybe get the markets in the in some developing countries in Asia, or even coming back. So there's a way, and I've been negotiated in this with different organizations and all that. But so if someone wants to live in the US for the rest of their lives or for as much as they want, they can use it as a trick. Come do something to help your whole country or to help Africa.
Yeah.
And then use that experience to negotiate a better offer in developed countries. Yes.
You live in Kigali, right?
Yes.
What do you do when you're not working?
I think mostly I'm a social person. Yeah, so it's spend time with family and friends.
Okay. What's your favorite African dish?
It's grilled beef African dish. Yeah, because I like Nyamachoma.
Nyamachoma, yes, that's good.
I like Nyamachoma so much.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.